Do you need to be everywhere? That's a question that Katie and I get all the time. You know, there's all these new sites. They're coming up daily, it feels like. You know, everyone thinks they need to be all over the web. You know, you have to be on all the real estate sites and all the social media sites. My name's Chris Smith. I'm with Inman Next.
And I'm Katie Lance with Inman Next.
And we're going to talk about that today. We just wanted to know, should real estate agents be everywhere? So, Katie, should they be everywhere?
I don't think an agent needs to be everywhere. You know, there's so many different platforms. There's Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest and Instagram, and there's a new platform coming out, gosh, every 6 months it feels like.
Empire Avenue.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, no, I don't think they need to be everywhere. I think an agent needs to focus on one or two platforms that they're really good at, they're really comfortable with, and not spread themselves too thin.
I agree. And as far as, you know, one of the things that's tricky is, you know, something like Pinterest, a good example. It's a new site. It's getting all this buzz. It's the fastest growing website ever. So how do you decide if you should join? Because that is often why people join. Like, oh my goodness, if it's the fastest growing website ever, I got to be there.
Right.
Well, that's maybe not the best way to approach a new platform. So my advice on exploring something new, number one, are your core demographic of clients there? So something like Empire Avenue, if you're selling single family homes to people between the age of 50 and 60, I don't know that you need to be on Empire Avenue because they're not going to be there. So is your audience on the site? That's question number one. And then for me, it also comes down to a little bit, do you actually enjoy it? So if you log into Pinterest and it overwhelms you, like Twitter's one where people log in and it's like, oh my God, I don't like this. And it almost causes them more grief than joy.
Right.
So are your clients there? Number one, do you enjoy it? Number two, start with that. I think that's a good way to evaluate new platforms. And then lastly, if they do decide they enjoy it or not, what do? How do they track if it's working?
Right.
What do they do if it's not?
Right. So I think two things. You know, I think first and foremost, analytics. You have to look and see, you know, am I getting the clicks? Am I getting traffic? Am I getting likes and comments? And Google Analytics is a great, easy thing that you can do. You can look at something called referring traffic, so you can see how much traffic is actually coming from Facebook or Twitter or Pinterest. And secondly, try out a platform. If you're not sure about it, try it out for 5 or 6 weeks. And if it's not for you, if you're not getting that traffic at that point, either choose to delete it, right? Or choose to at least have your contact information on there and a sentence saying where they can find you and redirecting them to your site.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people do that. Like, hey, I'm not on Twitter anymore. You can find me on Facebook, and they leave their profile up. So check and see if it's working. Look at comments, likes, shares, things like that, number of followers. Also look at referring traffic back to your website. That's important. And if it's not working, don't be afraid to get rid of it. If you want to learn more about this, we have a great video on developing a content strategy, kind of an overall digital marketing strategy for your business. And you can also learn more about all the new platforms as they come out at next.inman.com. Thanks, guys.